You think we're gonna have anyone go to Waco like this year or next year?
Well, I mean, the next Waco will be, oh wait, shit, is this May coming up? I definitely want to get someone like EK. I think EK has the right skill set to do really well at a Waco event.
What is that? Is that international?
No, it's considered Japanese kickboxing.
Waco is?
Yeah, which is like catch, strike, immediately release. Like if you hold on for like 1 second, don't anything, they're like, don't stop, and they make a big deal about it. And it's like the same thing of you can put your hands on for the knee, you have to immediately let go.
Oh,
like,
so it's only one knee at a time.
Yeah, like which is if you watch like traditional like K1 and stuff like that, that's considered Japanese kickboxing, which is like one knee at a time. IKF has kind of made their own rule set.
Oh yeah, that's what it seems like. Because especially with the new rule they just put in, it's like they just do their own thing. And with the teeps and
dude, yeah, like literally. Did you see that? Is this recording?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that whole thread? Did you read through that shit?
I read through part of it, yeah.
Like, did you see my responses? And like
Johnny
people
Davis,
like Vince and like a lot, like guys like Frankie, like people that have a lot of experience were going, no, we've never heard of that. Like there were hundreds of people going like, not hundreds, I don't know, definitely hundreds of comments about like
people,
a good amount of people going like, no, like that's not a thing. Like that's IKF specific, just like they're, you know, and it's like IKF is like they kind of did their own thing for like Unified as well. Like I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like their Unified.
What do they do for Unified?
Where they allow like a couple seconds of active clinching. Like I really like that. Like the couple seconds of clinching for Unified and then they break it.
Yeah, so traditional Unified is just one knee.
Like one knee.
Just really quick.
Really quick.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Just that touch and then you have to let go. But then like the officials will talk about you can dribble your hand placement.
Yeah.
Where you go like touch knee, touch knee, touch knee. And like so you have to like dribble in like a strike behind it. And you will see guys like wilt from that, but it's a bit more earned to get a lot more knees off in traditional K1 like
I like the Unified a lot too. I like in the IKF I just would like hold people and knee them until they broke me up.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it'd be like 5 seconds, 6 seconds.
Way longer.
Yeah, way longer.
Yeah, we like in this sport we have a hard time counting past 6 a lot of times. Like so yeah.
For real, like that'd be long. You're holding it.
You're just going on and going on and going on. Yeah, and the whole the knocked down teep thing, like I don't get it.
Yeah.
And there's not much like accountability. They're just saying, well, this is our rule and we're doing that. And now they're kind of creating this divide between them and other promotions. And one thing I'm seeing is that, you know, like there's a lot of people, like there weren't that many people at the last IKF show, and I think it's because the IKF is separating themselves in like a bad way.
Yeah.
You know? And I just mean that, and it's just like in a frustrating way.
Yeah.
It's like, so you guys, instead of being on a level playing field with everyone else so everyone else can like work together, they're doing stuff where it's like, well, this is how we do it at IKF. And it's like, well, okay, how does that benefit us working for championships and other promotions and other places?
Do you have to train differently?
Yeah, because you have to like retrain everything.
Yeah.
And now I think even more people will be pulling away from IKF because of that knockdown from the 10-8. Because there were so many people that were just flabbergasted. And look, there was, the last time I saw that, there was a referee that mainly did MMA who read the rules of like, if you're knocked down from a strike. But it's like, we all know, like, no, it means if you're
if you're dropped. Like, if you can't
dropped,
get up,
and like he got, I never saw him like ref again. He's a really good guy. He's a great MMA ref, and he's great. But I never saw him ref at the IKF shows again after that. And it's kind of just like you're going to be holding back a lot of people, and I'm going to be mad if I see like people end up like getting 10-8s when they've really been beating the shit out of the other person and they got knocked off balance. Like I saw for years at IKF events, people throwing a body kick, getting tipped, okay, get back up. You don't see that anywhere else.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have anything else to follow up with, like, well, this is just our way. And I'm like, all right, if it's your way or the highway, then enjoy that fucking highway by yourself, man. And there's even been a lot of frustrating stuff with the PKBs because they announce winners.
Yeah.
A lot of other sanctioning bodies who are also doing, and I mean, look, like I get it. It's kind of just like a safer version of a smoker. But you go to a smoker, there's no set winner.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you guys got good work. So it doesn't really count on a record.
Yeah.
But now because PKBs have a winner and a loser, certain organizations are counting those as fights.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is crazy. And then even at those PKBs, a lot of it is like no two matches are overseen the same.
Yeah.
I have seen so many bad calls at PKBs.
For sure.
Of like whether it be like one person working like the right speed and cadence, like they say, and the other person's just throwing hard. Yeah. And I'm like, well, then who's at fault?
Sometimes the ref won't stop it. Sometimes the ref will.
Like
and
when I watched,
better.
like Big Dwayne did a PKB not too long ago, and he said that the ref stopped it because they were going too hard. And I went, no, you guys were fine.
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah.
Like Dwayne got swept a couple times. They said they're throwing hard punches. Like, no, that was actually really good control for two massive, explosive guys. It was great control. So I, and like I've said, it's like PKBs are good for people that want to like maybe dip their toes in the competition that never have. But even me, I'm kind of like, man, you can't really mix point karate and fighting because it's two different things.
Yeah, and smokers are way harder than the PKBs. Like the ones we did up in Maryland, that would be more of a fight than a PKB.
Yeah.
So you're judging people off something that isn't accurate to like their actual experience.
100%. Like a flight simulator still ain't flying.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've done okay on a flight simulator. I sat behind a plane one time and I went, I'm not flying this fucking thing, dude. No, I'm good. Like, there's like, their experience is experience, man. And sometimes people think they're doing the right thing or they think they're reinventing the wheel where really they're just knocking the alignment off for everybody else. And then suddenly, like, you're going to be stuck broken down over there and no one's going to come help you. Yeah. And it's frustrating to see, some shows end up going to the wayside. Like IKF is going to stay strong in California because they do oversee all the Muay Thai and kickboxing in that state. So they're always going to have a strong holding in California.
Really?
But now we're starting to see more IKF shows popped up and less people started to go to it.
Yeah.
That becomes a problem. Like even me, it's frustrating. Like I tell people, like I started cutting my teeth as a coach with a lot of old WKA shows, which were always great. And I'm glad those are coming back. Like there were still like every tournament's going to have some mishaps, and like WK has tightened up. Like there was one year they forgot to bring extra scales, so 500 people had to use one scale. Like bro, that was horrible. Like I remember standing in line and people were like straight up passing out, and I'm like, oh no. Like Travis Petrava dropped a weight class waiting, and I was like, that's tough. And even like they used to allow people to do multiple skill sets at one tournament. Meaning, like you'd be hopping out of unified, they might be calling your name for modified
or
full rules.
It's like gi and no gi at the same time.
Yes,
like you're running from one to the other.
Yeah. And dude, when you're getting hit in the head, that's tough. Like that's either like two things are gonna happen. Either A, that person's gonna like set their way to be a world champion, or that person's gonna kind of ruin themselves and never fight again. Like I mean, I saw some people I was like, damn, I am not that kind of person that can go from like one skill set, 30-second break, then hop in the ring for the other.
That's like six fights, like 4, 5, 6 fights.
Like that is hard to do, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing easy about that, but it also makes way for like a great experience. Yeah. But no, WK has tightened up, and it's really good to talk to Brian again and see that he's going to be bringing tournaments back to Richmond, Virginia, which I love.
What, next year? This year?
He's hoping to do like a WKA show in Richmond by the end of the year. Like that's what he told me. I don't know if that's secret news. But and I've been talking to Raul that ran the K1 Southwest show. Like so, Karki. Like Brian and Raul are gonna be coming to town the next like couple months, and we're all gonna talk and see what we can do at the new spot because
your new spot like for smokers and stuff.
Yeah. Like really it's one of those things where because I am so passionate about coaching, and I realize like, man, I got to make opportunities for my guys. Like it's very frustrating to try to grow a program in North Carolina where we've had a very inactive commission. Yeah. And like I want there to be fights here like year round. Like that would make it so much easier to bring up new crops of guys. You know, so if we can at least do smokers inside our gyms, that at least lets us know like who's ready to compete. Like, okay, cool. Like there are more fights coming up in North Carolina. Great way to get started. But like, we still got to bring other representatives, other eyes in. I think just like, you saw what I did over quarantine. Yeah. Like, I mean, like I know I'll get homies from other states to come down. Yeah. Like, it's one of those things like we've always, as a coach, I've always gone to other people's backyards. Yeah. But I am all about bringing people to us. Yeah. Like I'm not going to bring like a team that won't challenge us. Like I know I have friends that are amazing coaches and they have amazing fighters. But then like you also you've rubbed elbows with some of these guys and you're like, damn, like we're doing something special here. Like we're not we're never going to say that we're the best here because we're always trying to get better. Like, and that's like me. I hate it when I hear someone say, like, you're a great coach. I'm like, no, I'm a good coach because I'm always trying to get better.
Yeah.
Like, a great coach is someone who's, like, kind of, like, retired from coaching and has a lot of accolades. Like, to me, it's like, no, like, I'm always trying to get better.
You're still going up the mountain right now.
Yeah, dude, like, that mountain doesn't stop, man.
Yeah.
Like, that mountain's not going to stop till I die.
Yeah.
Like, and I wish I cut myself some slack, but it ain't going to happen.
No.
So, like, I definitely know, like, I will be a better coach and I'll build a better team if I bring the mountain to us.
Host your own events, yeah.
And like some people have been saying for years, like, bro, you should run your own show. And it's like the same thing of where I talk about opening the gym. People are like, why'd you wait so long? And I was like, because I needed to make mistakes. I also need to watch other people make mistakes.
So you can do it right.
So I can do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I know I will go into the promotion business one day.
Mm-hmm. Have your own promotion here in NC? Or do you want to, like, take one over that's already pretty big?
My plan is to probably juggle between NC and Virginia.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully bringing in, like, other promotions will allow us to get amateur full rules competition going in this state.
Yeah.
I'm also a bit of a psychopath in the sense that I think small gloves Muay Thai, like, if that's going to be
I would definitely want to do that.
Like, if that's going to be the future, man, if that's the goal.
Seems like it is. Like, that's what they're doing at one.
Chance, don't you smell that camera? Like, there is, like, if we don't have an Olympic qualifying event to get ready for, then thank God for 1FC. Because, like, that is now becoming the goal for a lot of people. Yeah. So then, like, how do we prepare ourselves for that challenge? Well, then we make that competition happen in our backyard. And so if it doesn't happen here, then I know I can definitely pull that off in Virginia.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty easy to put a show on in Virginia. And I also know, like, the shows wouldn't be the Trevor Hayes show because Trevor Hayes ain't worth shit. But, like, Trevor Hayes is going to put on a show that will help grow fighters and expose fighters to, like, a future that they can really attain.
Yeah.
And, so if you want to fight at 1FC, fuck yeah, let's do some fucking MMA or Muay Thai with MMA gloves on.
Right now, it's only Conflict that does that, right? Like, in this area?
Yeah, man. I don't know who else is doing small gloves Muay Thai other than I think, because they have Gamma. So what I like about Gamma, and they're very heavy with the SC scene, they're very heavy in the New York scene as well. Yeah. And Gary Mack is on that Road to One card, and that's overseen by Gamma. A lot of Gamma refs from America are also the Gamma refs in 1FC. Like Justin Brown is a homie from South Carolina. I mean, he lives in North Carolina, but he lives like on the border of it. And hey, I don't know. I don't try to stalk people that much. Yeah. But like you will always see him at 1FC events reffing. He's one of the best refs in the game, and he's out of South Carolina. Wow, the South Carolina Commission, PFL has taken them to Europe to run their shows out there.
The South Carolina Commission is really good.
So good. So good, man. Like Alan Tamara from here, like they're my homies. I've known them forever. Like I love them. I get it. Like it's kind of just like the experience isn't there, and they're trying to build it from scratch, and they're catching a lot of heat from people because people are just a bunch of impatient fucking brats. And like, I guess I can be that way too. Because I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Like that's me being a little impatient and bratty. But and I've talked to Al about the South Carolina Commission, and that opened his eyes, and he was like, man, it's just about, honesty and commitment to growth and always doing the right thing. And the South Carolina scene has never had a year off.
Yeah, I mean, damn.
Yeah. Like, dude, during quarantine, where were we going for fights?
I was fighting in South
Carolina.
You were fighting,
yeah, dude. Yeah. Like, we were just like the world stopped, but we kept our shit going, man.
Yeah.
And, like, so I believe it's like, all right, let me just bring these people to us. Like, we go to them. Bro, I am getting older, and it is getting hard. And I hate saying I'm getting older, but, like, I mean, with, like, my health issues of the past couple years, like, shit's gotten harder to do, And I've been pretty, like clear with you guys where it's like, I'll always be coaching you guys, and I'm trying to get physically healthier to make sure that when you guys are ready to jump off that cliff, I'm there with you. But, at the same time, it'd be nice if that cliff was in our backyard, bro. It would be so much easier if that cliff was in our backyard to jump at. And that's what I really want to do for my guys. Like me, I've never ever like put myself first for much, but like when it comes to you guys, it's like, no, like I want my guys to have opportunities.
Yeah.
Like that's like I want you guys to fight. Same thing of like NC has gotten pretty cool about like the semi MMA.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think that's so gangster. I love that we have combat sambo growing in this state. Those are definitely events I'll be running at the new spot as well.
Yeah.
Like people are like, why? And I'm like, because it makes people good.
Yeah.
Like
why not?
we can no longer, if you want to do MMA, you can't do some amateur kickboxing, some amateur grappling. You might be setting yourself behind for MMA. If you want to get good at MMA, you have to do MMA.
Yeah.
You've got to put it together.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like the same thing for like Muay Thai. Like I believe, like, as a coach, like, you've seen my method now. Like, I really like to see people compete in unified first, and then modified, and then full rules.
Yeah.
But like, we're still doing those reps. Like, you
Yeah.
know, and I've told people, like, my philosophy is like, if you use unified to build your way into finding range for that clinch in those knees, then it gets that much easier to find the clinch. Like, how many times did you like go from unified to modified, and people were overstepping that strike range in your clinch, and you're like, bet that's a sweep.
Yeah.
You know, so like, you gotta have those building blocks.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't have been able to do that in modified if I hadn't competed in unified first.
Exactly.
To be able to get into the clinch.
Same thing for like your clinch range for like elbows and stuff like that. Like, you didn't fire a ton in your full rules fight, but like, you were very aware and you didn't get caught by any.
Yeah.
Like, I made that mistake of not recognizing how to recognize the clinch space, and I've walked into in elbows and I'm like, oh, I see why that knocks people out all the time. Like, that sucks, man. Like,
that would suck.
Yeah. Oh, it sucks. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for what we're gonna do in the next spot, because I'm a pretty, I guess I can be pretty unbiased. Like, whenever I've been like a referee and stuff like that.
Like a matchmaker. Or
yeah.
Are you
like,
gonna be reffing at any spot, like these smokers? And
oh, hell yeah, I am, dude. Of course,
nice.
like, I'll be reffing at those and like helping oversee those, man.
Yeah.
And it's also gonna mean like, hey, I'm gonna bring in like very fair, tough matchups for my guys. Like, we don't learn anything from a wash.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't, you know?
Yeah, and if people see you doing that, they probably won't want to bring their guys if all the matchups are unfair.
Yeah.
So it's just better for everyone if the matchups are even.
Like, I loved what like Jason posted about your smoker with that dude, where he's like, damn, this should be like a co-main or a main event on like some fight cards. And I went, hell yeah, it should be. Hell yeah, it should be. And it's like, because I have friends that are great coaches, I know we're going to bring great competition to our guys.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to build.
Damn, that's going to be so fun.
Yeah, like, I just, like, it's going to be as fun as it is, like, the continuous feeling of me wanting to tear my head off and throw it at the wall.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to catch that shit and put my head back on, you know? No, I'm excited for, like, for what the future has. And it feels pretty good. So I know, like, this is going to help me grow into being a good promoter.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, like, you know, for me to be as a coach, like, to be a better coach, it means, like, yeah, I got to make fights happen for my guys. And, like, Jason Farrell's talked about that, too, where he spent a lot of time as a matchmaker to get his guys fights, and he doesn't sandbag matches.
Yeah.
Good. Like, same thing when Vince and the guys do like the hot box series. Like, it's gonna get you better. Like, that's it. Like, if you weren't prepared, then that's kind of on you and your coach.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure.
Like, so that's, I'm excited for like what the future has. It has in store for us. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be crazy, but I'm excited for it.
When do you think you'll host your first event? This year? Sometime?
Soon.
Soon, really?
Yeah.
Like this summer?
Yeah. Hell yeah, dog. Hell yeah. Not my fault you're going to Thailand. That's on you. I ain't mad about it.
I remember now you were talking about that, like, striking, grappling, MMA progression tournament thing.
Yeah, so that's something that we'll be doing later this summer. I wanted to call that'll be the Scrapplers Cup.
Oh,
like
cool.
that. Like, that's a little thing that myself and some friends are working on. And we put it like, we got a lot of this stuff, like, we're about to pull the trigger on some stuff because we're going to hold it at a venue, but now I realize, well, now our gym is going to be the venue, so why not? You know? So now we're holding off on that, and then, but yeah, like, before you know it, you're going to see a show, and I'm planning something like, you know, definitely midsummer.
Wow,
like,
sick.
so it's
that's way sooner than I thought.
I don't know, but it's also like, it is and it isn't. Like, I don't know, you've also seen me go from, like, you've gotten to see, like, how fucking nuts these past 2.5 years have been.
You
like,
bounce around everywhere.
But
like,
it's
right after Knuckle Up, you went straight to a new spot.
But it's also because, like, that's how nuts I am and how driven I am to make sure that I provide a space for my guys to train.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need much to be happy. I want my students to be happy. Like, you know, I'm really weird that way. But, like, you've seen it. Like, I told people, like, and I told Talia, I was like, the timeline's going to be, like, we're going to spend, and it sucks because, like, that first mat room we were in, like, I kind of got dicked over a
with
little.
The green mats at Raw.
Yeah, at Raw, like, I got a little dicked over.
You were expecting to turn that into a nice gym with the coffee shop on the other side.
Because that's what they told us that we could do.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, someone was speaking out of pocket, and then the owner of the building found out.
Yeah.
And because, like, they were kind of like one day they're in there, like, wait, who are these guys? I'm like, oh, these are potential investors for this side over here and this over here. And I'm like, oh, hey, who are you? And then he's like, I'm the owner of the building. I went, oh, and because
yeah.
like someone had like told him like he knew there were people wrestling in there, but someone had sold us a lie just because they wanted us in there to try and build like traffic for their bar. And then that guy even apologized. He's like, man, I didn't realize like how dead set you were on building something. And I was like, man, if there's one thing I'm not much of a bullshit. I mean, I'm a shit talker, but I mean that out of love. But it's like, man, I've always wanted to be a good gym owner.
You just take action. You were ready to go on it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And then it was even like the same thing. And then like you saw, we were at that GI gym for a couple months.
Yeah.
And I was even talking to that owner. I was like, yo, like I could be here for a couple months or I could be here for a couple years. Like that couple years part's going to be on you if you want to play ball with me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but otherwise I'm going to pay you my $1,000. I'm going to sit in this corner. I'm going to grow my gym. And you saw us take like some puzzle mats and a bag cage into like we turned it into a small martial arts school. We built the foundation of business, and within 5 months we made the fucking opportunity to open the doors for here. And we opened this place in a month between seeing eyes on the door to opening our first class.
That's crazy.
And what's nuts is that 2 years exactly.
It was the summer of 22?
July. Wow. July 1st was
2022.
July 1st
Damn,
of 2022.
Crazy. Not even 2 years.
Not even 2 fucking years.
Yeah, and you're already moving out. This place I feel like has just grown so quick.
Yeah.
Like right here, this 2 years. Damn.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I feel like we just moved in here.
And like
I remember being at GI gym not so long ago. Now we're already moving out here into a huge spot.
Like so all that has taken place in such a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And so now I know, like, you know, and it's like I told Talia, I was like, the spot that we're going to be in, I was like, we're going to outgrow it. Like, we're going to have to be looking for bigger places at the end of the year. And like, man, I have been dead set right on the fucking goals. Like, I didn't dream board it. Yeah. I didn't write it down. I didn't post on social media what I was going to do. Yep. I was like, no. Like that, I'm keeping that shit to my fucking self, and you're all going to watch.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so just doing it.
Damn.
And at the new spot, like it's just that, like, and you hear me like jokingly like apologize like to you guys all the time, like, man, we're doing it. Like I promise, like it's coming. Like I don't make a promise I'm not gonna keep. Like there's been like a couple times where I've like promised something and then I realized like I fucked up the delivery and like that shit kind of haunts me. It was like small shit, but like that little shit like bugs me. Yeah. But like I made a commitment to you guys that it's like nah, like we're gonna build something for you guys, and like, but it's also because like we built such a good team here. We have an open door policy. Mm-hmm. Like bullshit walks out that door. If you have a bullshit attitude, if you have a bullshit mentality about being on a team, you're fucking out. Like you are fucking out. Like you are out. And like with that, like we've really built something special inside this fucking shoebox. Yeah. And now this shoebox, we have more mat space at the next place than entire facility here.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, like, I mean, just doing the damn thing, because, like, that's what I've always wanted to do. And like, you know, I told Talia, like, this 2 years of this spot is going to get us into our 5-year spot, possibly 10-year spot. And this next spot is looking like, I told Talia, within those 5 years of that next spot, we're going to be looking to open our second location while we have 2 facilities. And it's like, and she sees it too. Like, she sees what we're doing, and she gets it. Like,
so is your goal first to open up a second facility or to get a even bigger one than this next one?
So here's what sucks about everything right now, that everything just keeps getting more and more expensive.
Yeah, I was just watching a video on this. Like, it's going to come down in a big crash. At some point. At
some point, everything's gonna crash, and like hopefully shit gets cheaper, but I don't know.
Because you know banks just print money.
Yes.
Debt. I didn't know that till yesterday. Like because people get a mortgage for a house, and the debt they incur is just typed into a computer, and now it's real money.
Yeah. Like people are like getting money printed off of debt, and like, you know, it's like you look at. Like, look at what happened over quarantine, man. Like, America, like, we ruined, like, America ruined the dollar over quarantine by printing out more money that was readily available to hand out to people as, like, stipends and shit like that to keep people on board.
There was, like, a 3-month period where we went $3 trillion more in debt. Whereas
and now
that,
we're printing off money, sending it overseas instead of spending on our own people. But that's a different conversation, different day. And I'm not trying to sound like the fucking professor on campus that did too much acid. But like, you know, and you're starting to see like where if you want to get ahead, man, like you got to put yourself ahead. Like you can't rely on anybody else. Like I know. Like here's what I know is that every year shit gets harder.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate it when like people find out too late that shit's always gonna get harder and they can't help themselves. They can't wipe their own ass. Like I could barely fucking walk a couple years ago. I was still wiping my own ass. Like I had to learn how to wipe my left hand. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like I don't give a fuck.
You had to find a way out.
Like it was like Talia saw me getting frustrated. She thought like I was mad at recovering from a stroke, and I'm like, no, I'm mad at how much mats fucking cost now, man. Like if I had opened up a gym before quarantine, bro, it'd have been so much easier. But like quarantine prices, fucking everything, man. Yeah, even like. I'm not kidding. A spot like this, probably before quarantine, was probably like around $2,000 to rent, $2,500, and now it's like more like $4,000. Yeah, like the rent at the next spot, like, hey man, 3 times the space, 3 times the rent.
Yeah.
But do I want to do a bigger spot in the next location? No, because I understand like limits of control, and I like to be hands-on. Like I'm not a very like. There's certain things where I'm like, hey man, we got to be on this highway together a little bit. But it's like I know that if we do a space like anything bigger than the next place, then it's like I'll be spreading myself out too much. And like I like to know that I can still have my hands on a little bit of everything. Like I like cleaning my own mats. Yeah. I fucking love it. I love making my phone calls with people. Like Tali and I like split like interactions with people pretty well. But like, you know, because I am so on top of shit is like why this place is also growing. Like I am involved with pretty much every class.
You like, basically live here. Like you're here probably more than anyone else. For sure.
I was very flattered when Vinny said, man, I'm a workaholic, but then I met you. And I was like, what does that mean? He was like, dude, you work so much. And I was like, I guess. But it's like I've always been wired that way, where if you, like, you know, a lot of people are fucked up on the idea of being an entrepreneur thinking like, oh, yeah, I like to have downtime. Motherfucker, if you want to work for yourself, there's no downtime. You better embrace a 12 to 16 hour day. You better love that shit. You better be okay with being tired. Like I have days where I am so dog shit tired, but as soon as class starts, it doesn't fucking matter. Like we're doing the best thing in the world in here. And so like the next location with it being 4,200 square feet, like I'm looking at like our space and I'm like, man, we're gonna do something special with this. Yeah. So that's definitely like, that's a size I like, you know? And when we wanna open up another spot, like it'll probably be something closer to this size that we just organically grow. Because like the number one thing that people tend to fuck up, because like I don't know, they go to business school, so they think they know business, and they've never done shit like behind the scenes or running it. Like
that's college. That's all college.
I'm so glad you dropped out of college. Jesus Christ, you weren't going to learn anything.
No, I wasn't. It's literally made to create workers to go into the workforce.
Yeah.
It's like all of it is like clicking now. Because it's just as I was growing up, I was programmed to think this is the way.
Well, I mean, it's different. Like your parents both have like engineering degrees, right, or something?
No, my mom has a hospitality degree.
Okay, that's
so she has like ran hotels and stuff like that, and my dad was an engineer.
Your dad, like I mean, if you want to be an engineer or a doctor,
you gotta go to school.
You gotta go to fucking school for that. Yeah. But like, it also doesn't mean that you're gonna have experience. Like you're gonna have the knowledge to create experience, but you got to go get that experience for yourself. Like all my experience, like I put something in front of me and I tackled it, and that's how I got my fucking experience. You know, and so even like Talia had learned, like I took her around to a lot of friends' gyms, and she learned like, man, I can't believe like some people just get a bunch of loans, get a storefront, and then try to build a business around that. That's called failure. Yeah, and that's what business school sets you up for, man. Yeah,
you're just digging that hole, and then you have to find your way out of it. Yeah, versus already knowing how to get out of it.
Yeah, like breaking even like we have done something here that is like so wild, where it's like technically, like there is some stuff that we owe money for, but it's because we had to like. Oh, is that the timer?
Yeah, like a couple seconds.
Okay, so. Yeah, we're just we're not getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah, like we're doing it step by step. What you're gonna see like unfold over these next couple of years is because we put the right bricks in place. You know, we didn't dig something.
We built the foundation.
We built the foundation. We didn't dig a fucking hole. We built a foundation that's massively different. Like now, Are we going to go into some debt in the future? You're goddamn right we
Yeah.
are. But it's also debt that we can manage and stay ahead.
Yeah.
It's not fucking debt that we're drowning ourselves in, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's if you dig yourself a hole from the get-go,